Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of 3. If you haven't seen part 1 yet, I'd recommend you go back and watch that episode first. We covered what you'd be doing at the start of that very first day of school. Today's episode is all about building a class culture. Now, regardless of what school I'm teaching in or what the class next door is like, I'm passionate about building a hard-working, respectful, honest culture in any class that I run. Let's look at how this can be done. So we covered the first 3 points in episode 1, part 1 of this 3-part series. Today we are looking at point 4 and 5, and point 4 is have the Warren Buffett conversation. So if you don't know who Warren Buffett is, you might have lived under a rock, but he's the best investor of all time. His employees absolutely love working for him. Even though he's so rich, he hasn't compromised his connection with his employees. They love working for him so much, they'll often turn down higher paying jobs to continue working for him, which I think says a lot about his character. I read in a book about him that he regularly has a conversation with his staff that goes something like this. He asks 2 really clear questions. The first one is, what should I expect of you? We can use this in a classroom. We can ask that to the students. What should I expect of you? This is very different to simply just laying down the rules. Any teacher can waltz in and just put the foot down on the first day and say, this is how it's going to be in my class, get used to it. Or we can ask the students, what should I expect of you? They will then start to think, and they'll own the answers that they give you. And they'll probably give a lot of the answers you would have expected anyway. You should expect us to be on time, you should expect us to be prepared, you should expect us to treat others respectfully, all of these sorts of answers. You might even want your students to discuss their answers with the people around them, because remember, it's still a randomised seating plan, so this is a chance for them to meet the people around them in their class. The second question from the teacher is, what should you expect of me? This is an outstanding question. You've modelled on day 1 that responsibility is a two-way street. You're not asking them to do something that you're not prepared to do yourself. You as a teacher are not exempt from this culture of respect and excellence and honesty that you're trying to create. So I like to ask, what should you expect of me? It's unlikely that your students will burst forth with a million answers. They will probably be quite shy. I can't imagine that your students would have had many chances to give this sort of feedback to their teacher or to even give instructions to their teacher as they've got the opportunity to do now. It might be another good opportunity to ask them to discuss their potential answers with the people around them, but hopefully you start to get some really good feedback from the students as to what they should expect of you, such as being on time for class yourself, marking tests quickly with great feedback, not having favourite students, not favouring one student over another. All these sorts of things. It's really good for you to take that seriously and respect and appreciate the answers that they give. Point 5 builds on our last conversation that we've just had with the students about what should we all expect of each other. You can collate all of these answers and compile them in a list of what we call group norms. So group norms are simply a set of positive aspirational qualities and habits created by the students. So hopefully your earlier conversation has provided enough material that you can create some group norms around being punctual for class, coming to school being prepared to learn. So not only does that mean mentally prepared, but also bringing what they need, pens, pencils, calculators, erasers, all these sorts of things. Respecting others and their property, and simply giving your best effort. I like to tell students, I'm not expecting everyone to be a superstar at every subject, but I do expect your absolute best effort whenever you rock up to school. And you should expect me to give my best effort as well. It's a two-way street. Once you've compiled this list, I believe the best thing to do is to create an A3 laminated poster. It doesn't have to be too flashy, but just this list of group norms that really has been created by your class, everyone agrees with them, and have this up at the front of the room. The positive aspects of creating this poster is that every day they're looking at these standards that they've created. So they're more likely to take ownership of those actions and actually follow through on the standards that they've set. You can also use this poster can also be used constructively later on. If you're having a behavioural management conversation with a student, you can invite them to look at these group norms which they helped create and point out which group norms have not been applied. That's it. Thanks for watching part 2 of our series on meeting a new class. It's always a delicate process, but I feel like we're applying a strategy here which creates a class culture of excellence, honesty and respect. And that's what we're after. Stay tuned for part 3, folks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time and have a great week.